Hello and welcome to Ginger Prime. My name is Brian and I'm making this guide to build off of my Getting Started in Final Fantasy XIV guide to help welcome you into the world of tanking. So if you enjoy tanking in MMORPGs or are just curious about the differences between the roles in the game, then you're in the right place. But just as an aside, if you're using this video trying to decide if you should jump into the world of Final Fantasy XIV, the answer is yes. There's a free trial that's going to get you all the way up to level 60, all the way through the second expansion, Heavensward, which is completely free and there's no subscription. So you really should check it out if you're on the fence. You have nothing to lose. I highly recommend it, and I think you're going to have a really good time with this game. But all that being said, the goal of this guide is to give you the details about Paladin, Warrior, Gunbreaker, and Dark Knight. All of these that I've mained at some point in my 10-year history with this game. And after this guide, if you're still looking for more Final Fantasy content, be sure to check the playlist in the description, as well as our podcast over on Ginger Gaming Radio. Links, like I said, are always in the description, but now let's go ahead and get you started with the world of tanking. So when you're making your character, you're first only given two options, one for Paladin, which evolves from Gladiator, and the other Warrior, which evolves from Marauder. This is a remnant of the 1.0 system, and pretty much starting at level 30, everything shifts over to the job system, so it's only going to affect you for a little bit, being called a Gladiator or a Marauder. At the end of the day, think Warrior and think Paladin. So let's talk about Paladin first, being that this is an excellent tank. Hands down, I really enjoy what they've done with Paladin and Shadowbringers. Now, all that being said, this is also an excellent tank to start off with. So whether you're new to the game or new to tanking in general, this is going to be my first choice, my first pick. Namely because they have a lot of survivability. They get a lot of buffs. They get the ability to cure yourself and others. They have a great AoE rotation early on in the game, and so even when you're level 15 below, you're going to have a lot to work with in terms of just mob control, etc. So that being said, I have struggled with it on the controller a little bit, especially at the level 80 range. There are a few skills that I feel like they could upgrade or do a little bit differently in terms of how it's all laid out, and so I've spent a lot of time trying to perfect this job on a controller, and I'll have a new controller guide rolling out sometime this month for you, just to kind of show you what I've ended up doing. However, if you're not new to tanking or Final Fantasy XIV, I would direct you directly, that's perfect, to the Warrior. This job is beastly, fast and furious. However, the gap closer that it comes with isn't the best. When we compare this to Paladin, Paladin gets its gap closer much later in the game, but with Warrior, you get a gap closer and it's going to cost you some of your beast gauge, which acts as an excellent beast gauge dump if you need to just kind of get some points and spend them, but with the cooldown that's attached to it, I don't really find it that useful, at least to how I like to play. However, if you're looking for something that's well balanced, a hell of a lot of fun, what I call a masher tank, especially because for this tank you're going to build up a lot of your beast gauge and then you're going to unleash fury on your targets, both AoE and single target, and honestly the Warrior is excellent to play on a controller. So if you're really just somebody who wants that beastly kind of mentality, that weapon skill heavy job, this is going to be perfect for you. But this brings us to our third tank that for free trial players will have access to, and that is the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is not first accessible by your character creation. You're going to have to unlock and finish ARR to be able to access the Dark Knight out in Ishgard. So that all being said, Dark Knight is an excellent advanced job that you can transition to. I would compare Dark Knight closely to Warrior. However, Dark Knight is very magically based. It also has a lot of abilities based off of MP that allow you to weave in on your attacks. So I would say Dark Knights are definitely fast and furious. They get the earliest gap closer when it comes down to tanks, thus allowing you to be able to get around, and if you're playing level sync content, you might actually have your gap closer, which just makes for a lot of fun, and even weaving it into your overall rotation. I don't think the Dark Knight's all that busy, and I really have enjoyed Dark Knight since they introduced it back in Heavensward. So if you have Heavensward, if you're a free trial, honestly, I would say if you're really enjoying tanking, you definitely should give Dark Knight a try. I have no complaints. I've actually gotten no critique for the Dark Knight because I feel it actually works really well on a controller too. So pay attention for some updated controller guides for all of those jobs that we've just talked about. And this brings me to our final tank, the Gunbreaker, introduced in Shadowbringers. Gunbreaker is almost perfect. I can't imagine playing another tank, and I've actually switched. My Gunbreaker is now the main tank that I'm going to be playing, namely because it's fast, it's furious, it blends what I want and love about the Dark Knight, the Warrior, and the Paladin all in one place, and I find myself really enjoying the aesthetic of the job itself. So while I would say probably survivability is a little bit less than Paladin, it still has a ton of survivability. It has a cooldown. Pretty much you could be doing a cooldown every pull, every rotation, and just depending on how you're managing it, you'll do just fine. I really enjoy it. The fact that you have the self-heal, the barrier also is pretty powerful, and that you can put a regen on yourself or on others. Truly, I think it makes Gunbreaker stand out. Plus, when you hit level 70, that's really where things start to pick up with all of your rotations, and it turns out obviously managing your cartridges, which is the mechanic here. Simple and easy. It doesn't take long to be able to load up your cartridges, to be able to do your attacks, to go crazy and have a bunch of fun, whether you're doing AoE pulls or if you're just doing single target. I find that either way, I'm having a good time with the Gunbreaker, and so I highly recommend it. I really do. I say if you're not on a free trial and you're just thinking about getting into tanking, obviously you can't start with Gunbreaker right away until you've gotten at least to level 60. But if you have a level 60, it's easy to switch over, and I would say pick it up, start playing it. So that's how that actually works, which is quite fascinating. Outside of Dark Knight, the unlock requirements for Gunbreaker, it doesn't require you to finish the story. So as soon as you have a level 60, Gunbreaker is going to start at level 60. Dark Knight actually starts at level 30, which opens it up much sooner, so you're not going to have to be taking it from 1 to level 30, but it still makes it a very viable case. So all in all, like, you can't go wrong with any of the tanks. At the end of the day, actually, I love them all. If you're experienced, I'm sure you're actually going to really enjoy Warrior or Dark Knight, depending on how you want to kind of weave in more attacks. If you want to build them up and unleash them all at the right time, go with Warrior. If you want to have something you're always doing, having a little bit faster gameplay experience, I say go with Dark Knight. That's going to give you a lot of different options to weave in and out. And as well as if you can master the Blackest Night, you're really going to benefit not just the party, but yourself and how you ultimately maximize your DPS. From here, though, Paladin's still no slouch. You can kick back, you can survive pretty much anything, and I honestly enjoy it. The one thing that is a bit annoying, the kind of trade-off between Paladin and Gunbreaker, Paladin becomes invulnerable, thus you can use it and you're not going to take any damage. You're going to scare the crap out of your healers using Super Bowl. This is going to have you reduce your HP to 1. You're going to be invulnerable for 8 seconds, and it's always unfortunate if your healer uses their oh no moment, like their benediction, to heal you. Then you fire this off and you could see your life jump all the way down, all the way up, all the way back down again. So just kind of try to coordinate with your healer that you're going to be using this ability if you choose to use it. Anyway, that's all being said. What do you guys think? What do you recommend? Sound off in the comments below. Let me know what you're thinking. But this wraps it up for me. If you feel like this video has earned your subscription, I really hope that you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, ring that bell, come back for more videos. But as always, I'd love to hear your comments and your thoughts in the comments below. And if you do subscribe, if this is the video that earns it, let me know. And that way I can officially welcome you to the Soul Nation. But that wraps it up for me. Thank you. I love you guys. I love your faces. For Ginger Prime, my name's Brian. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in my next video. But until then, take care. This video is sponsored by me, Ginger Prime. Hopefully you'll check out my podcast channel, Ginger Gaming Radio, which we have lots of guests, lots of great conversations, and even more highlights. Links are in the description below. Let me know what you think. Thanks.